Hello, friends, and welcome to Scripture for the Journey, the Bible in a Year. Today I'll be reviewing the books of Micah, Nahum, and Habakkuk. These three prophets speak from different places, but they're united by a shared concern. How does faith respond when injustice persists and God's timing feels uncertain? Micah speaks to everyday faithfulness. Nahum addresses violent oppression, and Habakkuk dares to question God directly. Together, they show us the Scripture makes room for conviction, accountability, and honest struggle. Micah brings faith down to street level. He speaks against corrupt leaders, dishonest business practices, and empty worship. The people are religious, but their faith has lost its moral center. Micah insists that devotion to God can't be separated from how people treat one another. His most famous words capture the heart of faithful living. Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with God. This isn't complicated theology, it's lived faith. Micah reminds us that faithfulness is measured not by performance, but by integrity. Nahum shifts the focus outward. His message is directed toward Nineveh, the violent empire that once repented in the time of Jonah, but was returned to cruelty and oppression. Nahum's words are forceful and unsettling. He proclaims that unchecked violence will not last forever. God's justice will confront power that dehumanizes others. Nahum reminds us that God's compassion doesn't mean indifference to suffering. Accountability matters. Habakkuk brings a different voice. Instead of speaking primarily to the people, Habakkuk speaks directly to God. He looks around and sees violence, injustice, and delay, and he asks the question many believers carry quietly. How long, God? Why does evil seem to win? Habakkuk refuses to silence his confusion. His prayer becomes part of Scripture, affirming that honest questioning belongs within faith. God's response to Habakkuk is not immediate resolution. Instead, Habakkuk is invited to trust beyond what he can see. The book moves toward one of Scripture's most enduring declarations. The righteous shall live by faith. This isn't passive acceptance. It is active trust in the midst of uncertainty. Habakkuk ends not with answers, but with worship. Even when circumstances remain unchanged, trust deepens. Together, Micah, Nahum, and Habakkuk show us different dimensions of faith under pressure. Micah calls us to embody justice and humility. Nahum reminds us that God stands against cruelty and abuse of power. And Habakkuk assures us the questions are not a threat to faith, but a pathway toward deeper trust. For us today, these books speak into times when we feel overwhelmed by injustice or discouraged by slow progress. They remind us that faith includes action, accountability, and patience. God's justice may not follow our timetable, but it is not absent. As you reflect on these prophets, consider this question. Where are you being called to live justly, trust patiently, or speak honestly with God right now? Scripture assures us that faithful living includes courage, humility, and perseverance. Next week, we'll turn to Zephaniah, Haggai, and Zechariah, and Malachi, prophets who speak about judgment and hope, rebuilding and renewal, and preparing hearts for what God will do next. But for now, Micah, Nahum, and Habakkuk invite us to hold on to this truth. Faith that endures does justice, trusts God's timing, and dares to speak honestly in the presence of God. Friends, if this journey through Scripture is meaningful to you, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave a comment letting me know which of these voices speaks most clearly to you today. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you too can walk through all 66 books of the Bible with us, 1 week at a time. God bless you, my friends, today and always.